Suns added a couple pieces, which, let's get into that real quick. The Phoenix Suns first week. Not a lot of buzz, not a lot of, outstanding signings, I guess. Not a lot of sexy signings, but that's not what we expected, or it's what we expected from the Phoenix Suns, I guess. They signed Monty Morris to a one-year deal, Mason Plumlee to a one-year deal, Colin Giuseppe to a one-year deal. Nothing really sexy there, but Monty Morris, a guy that you're high on, and I'm curious to see what you have to say about him in terms of him and Bradley Beal. What can, I guess, Suns fans expect from a guy like Monty Morris? We kind of saw him in the playoffs last year with Minnesota Timberwolves, but this is a signing that you like a lot.
Yeah, Monte Morris is a guy that I've been a huge fan of since he was at Iowa State. I even jokingly put out on my Twitter account this past week a picture of me and Monte Morris at the Final Four in like 2018, I think it was, when he was on Iowa State.
Yeah.
So I've been a big Monte Morris guy for a long time. He's one of those just gritty guards who knew he had to make a way for himself in the NBA because maybe the physical attributes just aren't there. He's a very good passer, very good facilitator. The assist to turnover ratio numbers is something we've talked about a lot. And Suns fans, I actually find it very funny. So I was the one that basically had started this dialogue on social media this past week and it did really well on social media. People either loved it, people either hated it. That's the fun of social media. I basically had said Bradley Beal should move to the bench and Monte Morris should be the starting point guard for the Phoenix Suns. And I'll elaborate on it like this. Monte Morris is not a perfect starting point guard in the Suns' ideal world. The Phoenix Suns, however, are not living in an ideal world. They are dealt the cards they're dealt. They've made their bed, and now they're lying in it. It gives him a clear role in which you're also way more comfortable giving him this clear role in just being the pass first point guard. And in this starting lineup, it's a square peg in a round hole with Bradley Beal trying to play as the de facto third guy trying to get his shots. You don't have to worry about that with Monte Morris. And people that say this is literally the worst argument for Bradley Beal not coming off the bench, where you're just going to pay a guy $50 million to come off the bench. I couldn't care less what Bradley Beal makes. I am in the business of how do we make this team better and how do we put everyone in a more comfortable position to succeed. And that looks like Bradley Beal going to the bench and being supercharged. He's still going to play 35 minutes a night, Bradley Beal, and staggering the Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, however they want to put minutes in a way to where there's guys that know exactly what they're doing, get buckets, guys that know to get rebounds, play defense, a la a Yusuf Nurkic, a la a Ryan Dunn, or a dude that can facilitate an offense. I couldn't give a bleep about what Bradley Beal makes. I'm in the business of Mike Budenholzer putting everyone in the best positions to succeed. Stop counting people's pockets. That is where you start to make, or that's where you start to make real bad decisions with roster construction just based on what people make. So I think the best version of the Suns is Bradley Beal going to the bench, Monte Morris starting, and everyone just having a more clear role on what exactly they're supposed to be doing on this Suns team. Am I nuts? I understand it's crazy. I understand it probably won't happen, but am I crazy here?
No, I agree with you. And I think Budenholzer has had a past where he's had some of those all-star players come off the bench. And it might for Bradley Beal, who's had a lot of injury history and stuff like that, it might be best for the Phoenix Suns to have him off the bench. And you've got scoring with Bradley Beal as your second team. You've got him and Royce O'Neal. Royce O'Neal, a guy that they re-signed to, a 3-and-D guy. That second unit starts to look better when guys like KD and Booker just need some rest on the side there. I agree with you. I think you'll get Monty Morris. He's been in the league since 2017. He's 29 years old. He's had some reps even last year. He only played in 27 games for the T-Wolves, but their guard play backing up, Ant Edwards and Mike Conley and stuff like that, his minutes were limited. But you remember him from Denver, he played 75 games. The Wizards, he played 62. So this is a guy that has the capability to give you 12, 10 points as well as 3 or 4 assists as well. You look at the odds for the Phoenix Suns, they're at plus 3,500. Another guy they added to down low who will be a great backup behind Yusuf Nurkic is Mason Plumlee. And if you remember a couple years ago from the Clippers Suns series, whether it was the Western Conference Finals or the semifinals or whatever, he was a pivotal guy down low that would just give you rebounds. And that him and Nurkic are so similar where they know their roles. They know they don't have to score a ton of points, but those are the type of guys that are aggressive down low, that aren't afraid to go to the basket and can get rebounds, but also are decent free throw shooters. So I really like those two. And you got a guy in Oso, Iguodaro that they've got from Marquette too that can kind of learn from those guys. But you've got a great two-punch that now you look at it and you say, hey, you can line those two up against Gobert and Towns or against Jokic and what the Denver Nuggets have. So I think the Suns got better from the big man department, adding a guy like Mason Plumlee.
Yeah, it's not just Mason Plumlee. It's the Oso Iguodaro thing, which you kind of just glossed over there for a second. I'm not going to act like I'm this big college basketball savant. It's something that's definitely died down over the past couple of years, just given the fact that a lot of the guys go pro very quickly. I have seen numerous well-respected reporters talking about Oso Iguodaro being the steal of the second round, a guy who's passes very well, which is very similar to Yusuf Nurkic, who's a very good passer, and defensively, who, yeah, he's got to work on the jump shot and things like that, but he's a second-round pick. He's not perfect. The ability for this Suns team to get players that know their role. It's not me and you saying they're going to be championship contenders. It's not me and you saying they're going to go and win multiple playoff games this year or multiple playoff rounds. It's just them clearly identifying roles for these guys. Yusuf Nurkic, get rebounds, pass the ball well, be physical. Mason Plumlee, same thing. Ryan Dunn, play defense. We don't care that you can't shoot a lick. Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, give everything you can defensively, but go be the bucket getters, which leads me back to why a de facto role last year. No one knew what their role was. So you had a championship caliber coach in Mike Budenholzer, and everyone was waiting for the Suns' big move this offseason. Their big move was firing Frank Vogel and bringing in Mike Budenholzer. He's just not going to suit up for the team. I trust Mike Budenholzer to put them in the best positions possible and clearly define roles. And again, that's the best version of the Phoenix Suns. I'm curious what you think.
Oh, I agree with you 100%. And I think for the Suns, as they look forward to more free agency moves, I think with Budenholzer saying that he wants to shoot more three-pointers, I'm interested to see if they go get some of those wing guys that can shoot threes off the bench, like you mentioned earlier, with the Mavericks getting Derrick Jones Jr., going and getting P.J. Washington. You've got Damian Lee off the bench, and maybe Monte Morris can give you that three-point shooting. But you lose Eric Gordon in three-point shooting. I think they maybe go out there and get some more free agency guys from that standpoint. But Grayson Allen coming off the bench, or actually, sorry, he'll be starting for this team. This roster, I think they look more improved from last year. A guy like Nasir Little, you wonder what his role can be. You got Ryan Dunn, another 3-and-D guy. This team's starting to look a little better, but I think with another week of free agency and more veteran guys out there, I'm interested to see what they do in free agency.
Yeah, and I'm curious what you think about this guy. Guy that just got waived by the 76ers this morning. Paul Reed, a 6'9", kind of hybrid power forward center, is eligible to be a vet minimum guy, listed as kind of a small forward, but he's kind of like that small ball 5 guy. A dude who shot 36% from 3 last year, a bigger body in which the Suns need to get bigger. They have enormous issues at the wing position. That is the last guy, which the Suns kind of basically have like one spot left. That, for me, would be the perfect last guy that solves a couple of needs. 3-point shooting, 36% from 3, not bad at all. A guy that is fine defensively, nothing spectacular, but allows them to get bigger. And this team is tiny. So adding a Ryan Dunn, adding a Mason Plumlee, adding a possible Paul Reed would be a really good get for the Suns. That's what I kind of feel like their issues are. So waived this morning, Paul Reed, hopefully on the Suns' radar.
Yes, 7 points last year, 36% from 3, but another guy. He was a power forward, a lot of guys in front of him, so not a lot of reps there. Started 24 games, but played in all 82. Another guy off the bench that could be noted. One last guy that I'll mention that could be coming back, and I know some guys at PHNX and other guys were saying it, a guy maybe Jay Crowder, Pat Beverley, which, again, it's not a sexy guy, but it's a veteran guy who's a three-point shooting and can give you the defensive end, but also give you that leadership in the locker room, too, and a guy that's familiar with how Budenholzer coaches. Those are some other players that I'm interested in.
Did you say Pat Bev?
Yeah, Pat Bev.
Yeah, okay. If the Suns sign Pat Bev, I will personally go down and rip up the contract. I'm good on the Pat Bev fake tough guy. I'm so
You're right.
sick. I mean, listen, I get it. I know why people want him. After I saw him throw a ball at a fan and being just immature and stupid and all these, he's a loser. Everywhere he's went, he's a loser. Suns fans, Patrick Beverley, a horrible person to have on this team, although I get why people want him. I get it. On the surface, he's a real good fool's gold kind of guy. This is the last guy I wanted this Suns team. I'm sorry. Just had to throw that out there. I'll toss it back over to you.
No, you're good. You're good. Hey, I mean, I love Pat Beverley just based on, him being vocal, him being a villain. It'd be really interesting to see how the Suns would treat him. Grayson Allen was kind of that villain, and now he kind of turned himself around. But the podcast and stuff like that, the extra drama, you're right. I don't know if the Suns would need that with him and Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. Those are some guys that have had beef with Pat Bev in the past. Well, on the other side,
I was going to say, if you want this team to be even more unlikable, add Pat Bev. Just add Pat Bev. Anyways, I'll let you throw to your tees. Throw to your tees.
All good.